Hello, namaste and welcome you all. Now today in this lecture we are going to take problem number 7 on marginal costing technique. So let's start. Sainath Limited has fixed cost rupees 90,000 with a sales of rupees 3 lakh and a profit of rupees 60,000 during the first half of the year. Means for the first half of the year, what is the amount of fixed cost? 90,000 for first half of year. Fixed cost 90,000, sales of first half year 3 lakh, then profit of first half year 60,000. If in the next half year, they have, means company suffer a loss rupees 30,000 in next half of the year. Company suffer loss. In first half there was a profit of rupees 60,000, but in second half of the year there is a loss of rupees 30,000. Then by using the data we are asked to calculate, three sections are there, A, B and C. In A section we are asked to calculate profit volume ratio or PV ratio, then BEP rupees and margin of safety rupees for the first half of the year. So PV ratio for first half we have to calculate, then BEP and margin of safety. So let's start calculating PV ratio. So PV ratio is equal to, what is the formula to calculate PV ratio? Formula is contribution upon sales, into 100. So contribution means sum of fixed cost and profit. So contribution means sum of fixed cost and profit. So fixed cost upon profit, fixed cost plus profit. Contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit upon sales into 100. So fixed cost which is given, which is 90,000. So 90,000 fixed cost plus profit which is given 60,000 upon sales 3 lakh. As we know, contribution means sum of fixed cost and profit. So for the first half of the year, fixed cost is 90,000. That's why we have taken 90,000. Profit of first half year is 60,000. That's why 60,000 we have taken. Fixed cost plus profit is equal to contribution. In that way, contribution amount will be 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 is the amount of contribution divided by sales, which is 3 lakh into 100. So as we can see, 1,50,000 is 50% of 3 lakh. So PV ratio will be 50%. So PV ratio, that is contribution to sales ratio or contribution ratio, is 50%. It means contribution is 50% of sales. Now we are going to calculate the second item, that is BEP rupees. How to calculate the same? By using which formula? Fixed cost upon PV ratio. So BEP for first half of the year, BEP for first half is equal to fixed cost upon PV ratio. So fixed cost of first half year is 90,000 divided by PV ratio, which is 50%. So 90,000 is 50% of 1,80,000. So rupees 1,80,000 will be the BEP rupees of first half of the year. So BEP sales are 1,80,000. Means whenever company sales will be 1,80,000, at that point company's total cost will be 1,80,000. Means total cost 80,000, 1,80,000. Total sales are also 1,80,000. So BEP stage, no profit no loss stage will come. Now we are asked to calculate margin of safety in rupees. So how to calculate the margin of safety in rupees? What is the formula to calculate the same? The formula is actual sales actual sales less BEP sales. So margin of safety for the first half. First half sales are 3 lakh. So 3 lakh less BEP sales are 1,80,000. So 3 lakh less 1,80,000 is equal to 1,20,000 is the amount of margin of safety in rupees for the first half of the year. So here in that way we have calculated PV ratio, BEP rupees and margin of safety rupees for the first half of the year. In that way we have calculated our section A. Now we are going to calculate the section B. In section B, what is the data given? Expected. What we are asked to calculate? Calculate expected sales volume for the next half year. What will be the amount of sales? What will be the amount of sales in the next half year, assuming that, what we have to assume? Assuming that selling price and fixed costs remain unchanged. Means fixed cost and selling price will be same as it was in the first half of the year. Means in second half also fixed cost will be same as first half. Fixed cost of second half of the year will be same as per the fixed cost of first half. Means in second half also fixed cost is 90,000. So we are asked to calculate sales volume of the next half year. But what is the data given in second half year? If in the next half year they suffer a loss, there is a loss of rupees 30,000. Means what is the data available for second half? Loss 30,000 and fixed cost 90,000. These two items are available for second half of the year. By using that data we are going to calculate sales of second half of the year. So sales of second half of the year. So how to calculate the sales? Sales is equal to contribution upon PV ratio. Contribution upon PV ratio. So contribution of second half of the year. So we have to calculate first amount of contribution of second half. So how to calculate the contribution? Contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit or fixed cost less loss. But in second half of the year there is a loss instead of profit. In second half of the year there is a loss of rupees 30,000. So which formula of contribution we will have to use? Contribution is equal to fixed cost less loss. This formula we will have to use. So contribution is equal to fixed cost less loss. So fixed cost of second half of the year will be same as fixed cost of first half of the year. So 90,000 fixed cost 90,000 less loss which is 30,000. So contribution amount will be 60,000. Means contribution of second half of the year is 60,000. So sales of second half is equal to contribution at second half which is 60,000 upon PV ratio. PV ratio will remain same whether it is first half or second half, because per unit selling price, per unit variable cost are same, cost structure is same. So PV ratio will not change. PV ratio will remain same for the first half of the year and second half of the year also. So PV ratio will remain same which is 50%. So sales for second half of the year is equal to contribution upon PV ratio. PV ratio tells us the percentage of contribution to sales. That's why whenever we divide contribution by PV ratio, that is contribution ratio, we get the amount of sales. So contribution of second half of the year, which is 60,000. So 60,000 divided by PV ratio, which is 50%. So 60,000 is 50% of 1,20,000. So 1,20,000 will be the amount of sales for the second half of the year. In that way, we have calculated the amount of sales for the second half of the year. Now we are going to calculate in section C BEP rupees and margin of safety in rupees for the whole year, for complete year, first half and second half. Total means we are asked to calculate BEP of whole year and margin of safety of whole year. So let's start calculating the same. How to calculate? First of all, we are asked to calculate BEP of whole year. So what data will require? Fixed cost, BEP is equal to, which formula we have to use? BEP is equal to fixed cost upon PV ratio. So BEP of whole year is equal to fixed cost of whole year upon PV ratio. So what is the amount of fixed cost of whole year? First half, for the first half, fixed cost is 90,000, and same for second half also, fixed cost is 90,000. So 90,000 plus 90,000, total 1,80,000 is the amount of fixed cost for the whole year. So fixed cost upon PV ratio, which is 50%. So 1,80,000 is 50% of 3,60,000. So 3,60,000 will be the amount of BEP. 3,60,000 BEP for whole year will be 3,60,000 rupees. 3,60,000. Now we are asked to calculate margin of safety for whole year. So margin of safety for whole year is equal to total sales of whole year less BEP sales of whole year. So what is the amount of total sales of whole year? For first half of the year, sales is 3 lakh, and the sales amount of second half year, which we were asked to calculate and which we have calculated, which is 1,20,000. Sales for second half is 1,20,000. So total sales of whole year is equal to first half sales plus second half year sales. So first half year sales is already given, which is 3 lakh, plus second half sales which we have calculated, which is 1,20,000. So 3 lakh plus 1,20,000 is equal to 4,20,000 is the amount of total sales of whole year. Now we are going to calculate margin of safety of whole year. So total sales are 4,20,000 less BEP of whole year 3,60,000 is equal to 60,000 will be the amount of margin of safety in rupees of whole year. So So in that way we have calculated BEP of whole year, which is 3,60,000, and margin of safety for whole year, which is 60,000. So I hope all of you understood it. Thank you.